talk. It's Purple Daily on Score North and ScoreNorth.com. Purple Daily, presented by Surly Brewing Company.
Yeah, welcome into Vikings Ventline, the most fan-friendly, interactive, and on days like today, therapeutic show in Minnesota sports. The Vikings just blew a 14-point lead in the second half of the Cincinnati Bengals, who also were playing a backup quarterback, and they lose in overtime, 27-24. A million things to talk about here, boys. If you'd like to get on the show, like always, you can send an email request to vikingsventline@gmail.com. We try to get to as many people as possible here over the next hour or so. Just keep it clean. I know you're livid right now, Vikings fans, but just don't say anything to get us fired or anything like that. Phil Mackey, Judd Zulgad, Declan Goff. We just want the Vikings to win a Super Bowl before we die, and that's not the blueprint for doing so. Before we jump in here with our takes on this game, let's shout out a friend here. Just let's put some space here. Quick Trip is the presenting sponsor of Purple Daily and Vikings Vent Line. Yeah.
From a frown to a smile on the sports dad face, because Quick Trip is your one-stop shopping for all that you need. I'm talking from their great Karuba coffee, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and also gasoline. That's right. In fact, they've got what they're calling their quality gas guarantee. Quick Trip is going to back every drop of gasoline with their quality gas guarantee. Get to your destination, and this is incredibly important, especially in the cold of winter, and eventually if we have snow, without having to worry about what's in your tank. Just another great way that our friends at Quick Trip provide great customer service. Quick Trip, the official sponsor of Purple Daily, much appreciated from us to them, and Quick Trip also the place that you should stop.
Jed, your biggest just take on this game?
Pretty hot right now. I got to be honest. I'm pretty
Judd
hot.
Judd was texting us hot when they were up by 14 points. Well, he was pissed.
I saw some things. I saw some things that came to fruition. Okay, there's a ton of things. I'm going to just say one. I think Kevin O'Connell had a terrible day play calling. I thought I was atrocious. I can't look. Nick Mullens is a backup and has been throughout his career for a reason. Okay. Nick Mullens, I understand in O'Connell's world, in the Vikings world, might be a more suitable replacement for Cousins because you can do some of the same things. But, dude, when your run game is working, which it was, and the Bengals, one of their best run-stopping DTs went out early, and Ty Chandler has the first 100-yard game since, I think, week 5 of 2022, and you insist on taking, the best way I can put it is this. Kevin O'Connell had a fuse, which they told him, don't light it. And he was the little kid who's like, oh, no, I'm going to light the fuse as much as possible. He put Nick Mullens in a position to make decisions that made Brett Favre blush, his cohort at Southern Miss. And guess what? Nick Mullens screwed up. My takeaway is Kevin O'Connell played a huge role in this loss.
I hated the back-to-back tush pushes. For one, these teams that are looking at the Eagles, well, the Eagles do it. Okay, first of all, Jalen Hurts is one of the, like in terms of like lower body strength and athletic ability, is one of the, he's number one on the list of guys you'd want. Maybe Anthony Richardson when he's healthy, doing a tush push as a quarterback. They also have the best center in the modern history of the NFL to drive forward, and they put multiple strong position players behind the quarterback to finish it off. The Vikings have one of the least reliable blocking centers in the NFL, and they put one skill position player behind Nick Mullens, one of the least athletic backup quarterbacks in the NFL, mind you. Brandon Powell, no hyperbole, is smaller than me. He's 5'8", 180 pounds, and that is the leverage you're using on back-to-back tush pushes? Yeah. You deserved to lose that game based on, there's a million other things, based on those two boneheaded play calls and designs of a terrible tush push alone. Declan, your main takeaway, and then we'll get to some Vikings fans.
Just an epic choke job all around. From turnovers from Nick Mullens to Flores' defense once again being a sieve in late game close situations. There definitely is enough of a precedent to say that this defense, although as a whole has played well, has also had some horrible moments in late game closeout situations. Kevin O'Connell kind of just, I think, outsmarted his own self a little bit today. Ty Chandler was great, and instead of just pounding the rock, they were still making Nick Mullens drop back and make throws that he probably shouldn't have been making. So a pretty brutal loss. If you were going to lose the next 2 games, playoff-wise, this was the one to lose, so you better come back on Sunday and win to keep your playoff hopes alive, a silver lining for you maybe. But at the end of the day, a epic choke job all around from all 3 phases.
Yeah. So, okay, we'll get out of the way here for a little bit, and we'll turn the show over to you guys. Thanks for hanging out with us, spending part of your Saturday with us on the Purple Daily YouTube channel, Vikings Vent Line. If you could click the like button and the subscribe button, it's a huge help for us as we look to keep pushing and growing this huge and awesome community of Vikings fans who are pretty pissed off right now. So, Dex, who's first out of the gate on Vikings Vent Line?
Let's go to Christian to start here. Christian, what's up, man? You are on Vent Line.
Hey, boys. How are ya?
Hey, man.
Yeah, the whole time, Judd, you were talking, I was shaking my head. Like, when this, if you're gonna do that once, the tush push, okay, cool. The second time, though, I don't know. I don't think I've ever seen more ineptness from the Vikings. And
on the second one, did you guys notice? And Christian, it looked like it felt like, oh, are they going to get tricky here? Because Mullens didn't seem at all ready for it. He was kind of like almost like turned halfway sideways, and it was like they knew the play was going to fail before they snapped the ball. That was the body language I was getting.
Yep, I'm on board with that, and I don't get it. I agree, KOC. I love KOC, but he's really starting to piss me off. What's up with these calls? On 3rd and short, if you're going to do that dumb tush push, you have Justin Jefferson, Hawkinson, Ty Chandler should be the starter, by the way, going forward. Give him the ball. Do anything else but let Mullens run a quarterback sneak. And what does he do in the 4th down one? He almost fumbled it anyway.
Yeah.
So I'll leave it there. Love you guys. I'm just, typical. Have a good one.
Thank you, Christian. Appreciate it, man.
This was a loss that didn't have to happen, though. That's what pisses me off.
No, it is.
It was self-inflicted. It was a self-inflicted loss.
I don't want to get too. I don't want. I am disgusted by what I just witnessed, but it's right up there in terms of like how dirty you feel after the Vikings lose a football game. It's like in the last 5 years, I don't know if it's the dirtiest I have felt, but it's up there. It's definitely top 3, top 4. Who's next on Vikings Vent Line?
Let's go to Raul next year. Raul, you're on Vent Line.
Hey guys, long time listener, first time calling in, person of origin, probably one of the few ones you get on here. So my take is on this game, not from this game itself. It's Chicago. It started the Chicago Bears. KOC is now proving the point. It was Cousins who was actually helping him. He is proving the point over and over and over again in the games he's calling, putting Josh Dobbs for a failure, right? Knowing what he can do, what he can't do. And then today's game, there is no creativity. You could have done so much on those 3rd and 4th downs where you went for a tush push with no offensive line to do it. And God forbid, Brendan Powell to push him through. It's like, it's a mess all over. I personally believe, this is my reckless speculation, hot take, whatever you call it, right?
Yeah, I'll give you the just reckless safe space. Safe space here now.
Flores the HC job and get out of the way, become offensive play caller or go somewhere else.
Wow, coming in high. I'm just real quick on the Cousins thing, and thank you for jumping on Vikings Vent Line here. So as upset as I am about the tush pushes, and I thought he got a little pass happy a couple times with his play calling today. I was not in love with the play calling. I think what Kevin would tell you based on the first half, up until like it was like 17-3, they should have been up 23-3 in that game, because the play calling and the execution led the Vikings into easy field goal range, which Greg Joseph, by the way, has made like 50 straight field goals under 40 yards. Mm-hmm. They were in that range twice, and then Nick Mullens goes rogue trying to play hero ball and throws dumb interceptions. Now, I'm sure you could argue, oh, okay, don't let him. Once you get into field goal range that close, call some runs to Ty Chandler and just play for field goals at that point.
Correct.
But like they were supposed to be up 23-3 in this game, if not for Nick Mullens absolutely soiling himself inside, the 25-yard line on two different drives.
That second pick, which by the way is one of the worst I've ever seen, the fact that he threw the ball, that's on O'Connell. Like, you saw the first pick, just run the ball. Like, you're after 3 points. And to your point, Joseph is very reliable from there. Just run the ball. Don't put him. You are lighting a match with gasoline. Well, guess what happens? Blows up.
Kaboom.
Yeah. So it's I O'Connell. The second one, I blame O'Connell because why didn't you just run the ball and take the 3 points?
Yep. Well, let's keep it rocking here on Vikings Vent Line, Purple Daily YouTube channel, Dex.
Yeah, let's, as an alert pops on my screen, let's go to Johnny, who's at the stadium, I believe. Johnny, what's up, man? Can you hear us?
What's up, guys? Can you hear me?
Yeah, we got you.
Yeah, man, I'm just going to say it, that was the worst finish to a game I've ever seen. KOC's play call has got to go. 4th down, you go for the exact same tush push that you just went for when Ty Chandler's running the ball all game, 100 yards, killing it. I'm here at the stadium, and it's crazy. Vikings fans are very upset, and we have every right to be. So, I mean, I appreciate you guys. I'm going to get off here.
Yeah, no, thank you. And we always say we love when you guys call in from the stadiums. It's awesome. Mm-hmm. Ty Chandler ran the ball 23 times for 132 yards, 6 yards per carry. He also caught a huge 16-yard gainer that almost went for a touchdown on a 3rd down play. He winds up with 3 catches for 25 yards. So he touched the ball 26 times for 157 yards in this game. And we're wrong a lot on this show. In fact, every Wednesday we do our predictions and our accountability sessions, and you'll see our completion percentages aren't very good, right? One of the main themes of this show, if you're just an idiot fan like I am, or you're just sitting here watching on TV and you can say, wait a second, literally going back to training camp. Okay, the Vikings have a guy that played high-level college football, ran for 1,000 yards at Tennessee, right? Against NFL defenses pretty much. Ran a 3.5 40-yard dash. And when you watch him for these small chunks, he's got some burst. I feel like that guy should get some more carries. It took them an Alex Madison injury, and it took until December 16th to finally be like, all right, I guess we got to roll with Ty Chandler. And what does he do? Exactly what we thought he was going to do. And what do you do in response as a play caller? You don't have him on the field for the 2 most important short yardage plays of your season to this point.
He was on the field for the second tush push, right? I thought he was in the backfield and they just didn't hand him the football.
Well, Powell was the one pushing Mullens on that play.
That was the first tush push. When McCourty pointed out exactly what you just said, which is, why are you having a really small guy who's going to get no burst? But yes, the Chandler thing, here's the thing that drives you crazy about the Chandler usage, right? The Chandler usage was not a pie in the sky theory from us. We've seen that guy in practice, right? You saw it in games. He just has a gear. As I tweeted, Madison is a guy that he's a 4-wheel drive. You pull out in the dead of winter and he gets you through the snow, and you appreciate that, right? But when it's springtime and the birds are chirping and you're going to go around the lakes, you pull out the Corvette, you pull out the Ferrari. That's what Chandler is. If you watch them, watch their highlights side by side. It's so clear but what drives me crazy is if we had said, we think Chandler's good, but we have no clue, then I'd be like, well, what do we know, right?
Dude, we've seen it. It took Alexander Madison 2 years and most of a full year as a starting running back to get a 20-yard gain.
Yeah, I know.
Chandler had 2 of them today. And he had a 16-yard on a pass play. So it's anyways, let's keep it going.
Just hot.
I'm hot too. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's hard not to be.
And a cocktail.
Let's go to Brandon next year on Vent Line. Brandon, what's up, bud?
Oh, good to see you again, guys. That was a rough one. Had high hopes. Everything was looking good. The sad thing is we should be celebrating some Jordan Ty Chandler. And yet we're talking about KOC's just fumbling the ball himself. We had some turnovers. And the point in the game where I really thought KOC would kind of get with it was when he got an early Christmas present after that, what should have been a pick six, if not for the offside. He went right back to the second play. We got then 2nd and 5. He handed it to Chandler, who got a 7-yard run. And right there, he then went away from it again.
Yep.
Right there, he should have been like, no, this is my bread and butter today. But for some reason, he kept trying to run to the right where Quessenberry was, and they kind of struggled there, it seemed like, just from my it seemed as if we were doing a little bit better to the left, but for some reason, when that hits you upside the head and you still don't hand Chandler the ball, it's just confusing to me. And then even on the tush push, I don't know if you guys caught this, but if go rewatch it, Brian Flores was right behind KOC saying, call time out, call time out. KOC did not and ran it a second time.
Yeah.
Rewatch it again.
Interesting.
And you guys have talked about, his sideline clock management person, whoever that may be. In that instance, you have your coaching staff trying to give you advice, and he totally did not acknowledge it. So I'm just unless my eyes were deceiving me, Brian Flores was right at his hip saying call timeout, and he did not, which was odd to me. But yeah, frustrating when we had a beautiful opportunity to get a W, which is hard in the NFL. But I hope Pie Charter blame here. Byron Murphy better be on that one, because boy, did he get cooked today. Our
secondary did.
Our secondary, honestly, on those just throw up balls of just getting somebody to defend. I don't get it. Both touchdowns, just throwing lollipops in the air and nobody actually making a play was a little bit frustrating, but should have had a W today, boys.
Yep. Brandon, great insight, man. And we'll have to go back and check for the Flores thing. Just one quick note on the jump balls. I mean, the Vikings gave up that 3rd and 21 at one point, which is egregious. Yeah. And then the jump ball to Higgins in the corner. If you go back and watch that, so Caleb Evans, make a play. That's the first thing. Like, dude, make a play. And the same thing for when Mekhi Blackman jumped up in that Denver game. Like, guys, you practice this. You got to make a play there. Mekhi Blackman was the second man over there on that play. He literally, as the ball was in the air, he literally stops, watches the play, and like a fan, and puts his hands up because he thought Caleb was going to pick the pass off. If he runs over there and just acts as a bowling ball, maybe, I mean, they probably wind up scoring anyways, but he might knock the ball loose. He for sure prevents a touchdown. Yeah, of course, they probably run it in on the next play anyways. But, he stopped playing. What are you thinking?
Watch that. But you can't watch that play. And the reason that Higgins felt comfortable to wheel around and cross the pylon with the ball was because of that.
Yeah.
I don't think he does that.
Brutal. All right, let's keep it rocking here. Therapy session in full force right now on Vikings Vent Line.
Let's go to Patel next year. Patel, what's up, man?
Guys?
On Vikings Vent
Line. Hey, man. Yeah, we got you.
Background, first time I'm calling in. I'm not actually a Vikings fan. I'm actually live in Maryland, but you guys are such a great show, and it just caught my eye. I was on my YouTube recommendation. I'm a big NFL fan, so
thank you, man.
You guys do an amazing job. I just want to say, I think I bring an outside perspective. I don't have any insight on any of that. I'm not biased or anything. I just think KOC doesn't have a killer instinct in him. I'm looking at Zach Taylor, the other coach. I mean, when you don't have your starting quarterback, that's when you're actually tested as a head coach, right? I don't care if you have your starting quarterback and you're calling plays and he's hitting all of them. Yeah, that's what you're supposed to do. That's your quarterback. What about when things go wrong? What are you doing? And for me, I'm just looking at that 3rd and 1 play. You try to do a quarterback sneak, so they call timeout. Cincinnati calls a timeout, and I see Justin Jefferson one-on-one on the sideline. 3rd and 1. You know you're going to go for it on 4th and 1 anyways. How about just try to kill the game right then and there? How about a seam route to Justin Jefferson? I would take my chances against Justin Jefferson one-on-one against anyone. So killer instinct. It's time to take a hard look at the head coach. I'm not a big fan, and I bet a lot on the Vikings because they're always a team that's they're sneaky good if it makes any sense from my outsider's perspective. So I love betting on them. But this is like this is not the first time. It's been a handful of games where he's cost me money now. So I'm pissed. But you guys are a great show, and I'm sure I'm not the only one. There's probably a lot of people that aren't Vikings fans that are listening in. So thanks guys.
Patel, thank you, man. I love it. Now the Vikings have pissed off not even Vikings fans, just people that are gambling on the East Coast.
I don't blame them one bit. I don't blame them. I mean, they're up by 14 points. The one thing I will say about this is I'm not going to have advocated for late game passes too much because I understand if there was trepidation. But then now let's go back to the actual play calls themselves. Here's my question too, and this is a league-wide thing. Okay, one team developed the tush push, but the tush push depends a lot, as we discussed before, on your quarterback's strength and legs himself. Okay,
And your center, and
This
you're
is
having the greatest center
So
in.
this is not something that you can just copy. So why aren't you running a normal fourth down? I mean, that was not 4th and 1. That was fourth. Now Mullens lost yardage, but that was 4th and like an inch. All you had to do was either have Nick take the snap and sneak through, and if you don't trust that, hand it to Ty Chandler. So like, I'm not even asking for any type of sexy play. I'm just asking, this tush push thing that has spread around the league to me is ridiculous because a lot of teams aren't suited for it, which is why there's a faction trying to get it banned because they know that. That's a different conversation.
Yeah, let's keep going here. Vikings Vent Line, Purple Daily YouTube channel.
Let's go to Vike Psycho next year.
Yeah, that's me, and I'm not psycho in a good way right now.
You shouldn't be.
We're here.
I
to
love
let
the
you
jacket,
cut it
Psycho.
loose.
I love the jacket.
Yeah, it's a little vintage, but that's all right.
Yeah.
So I don't want to tell you to wave that flag today. I'm more on the bandwagon of burning it, but there will become a day I want it back. So
It's not burning. Don't worry.
Such
it's not
is
gonna
the
burn.
life of being a Vikings.
what is the deal with you guys have been talking about Chandler the whole time and giving it to him. How come you never see it anymore where they launch a running back over the pile? You never see him do it anymore. He could have easily got that first down. And KOC, this loss is firmly on him. I don't care. I'm not saying everybody played perfect either, but KOC, come on. What is the purpose of Wes Phillips? What does he do?
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
I know what he does on Fridays.
I'm not gonna say anything. There's nothing good.
Vike Psycho, thanks for joining us here. I will say on the running back launching over the top, that's more of a goal line play because you don't have to worry about if you break the plane, it's a touchdown. If they swat the ball out, it's not a fumble.
Right.
You got to be careful doing that in the middle of the field where I'm over, but the play continues and they can swat that ball out. But just or it's 3rd and short. In your mind, you could say, well, we got a running back that's averaging 6 yards a carry today, and he's broken he might have broken a big one there too, because think if you block it well, Cincinnati's entire defense is up on the line of scrimmage. If he gets through the first level, he might score a touchdown, but they didn't even give it a chance to happen.
This is totally from my opinion, and I don't have fact right now, and I'll be curious what comes out. But it feels like today was just about the worst day to have no real actual screen game. Like today feels like a day for like if you had a screen game and your quarterback can literally dump the ball off and it becomes a pseudo run, right? So that's another thing that you can deploy. It feels like a really bad day not to have that threat, or at least it's not a sustainable threat from these guys.
Who do we got next here, Dex?
Let's go to Twist. Twist, what's up, buddy? Welcome back.
Dex. All right, fellas. We have the Brandon Staley of the NFC. Okay.
Oh wow, dude.
Oh wow.
Time to wake up.
Oh, you went where we didn't.
That's a good lead for the hottest Vikings takes episode tomorrow, right there.
Just imagine if we had Mike McDaniels with this talent, except Kwesi wouldn't even give the guy an interview.
That's true too, right? Or did he not want to interview? Do we know?
Didn't interview him. He was in the same building with him in San Fran, I'm pretty sure too. So I got to question that. This is just another 500 Vikings season, and it's driving me nuts. I'd much rather have a top 10 pick going into the offseason instead of going in the playoffs with Nick Mullens. And if we end up with Bo Nix or JJ McCarthy at like 20 or 23, I'm going to be sick. Like this is just, I'm furious. It's time to put KOC on notice because he's costing us games.
Amazing passion here from Twist coming on the show. And this is the first time I have really felt, and it's, of course, we're 30 minutes removed from a loss that makes your head explode. But with the early batch of Ventliners, social media, just like even friends, Vikings fan friends that are texting group text threads, this is the first time I've really felt like, oh, people are kind of out on Kevin O'Connell right now. Now, anything can, maybe they come back and they win a couple games, but do you sense that to you guys? Like, there's been some criticism, but today is the first time I have felt a groundswell of Kevin O'Connell needs to be fired, or Kevin O'Connell to.
I feel like it's been building, but today didn't. If it was a smoldering fire, it's about to be raging right now. And look, in O'Connell's defense, he is dealing with backup QBs, but that being said, you do have to be aware then of what you can and can't do. That's my thing. Like I am in no way saying Kevin O'Connell should take Nick Mullens and make him a star. But it was very clear what the formula was for potential success. I mean, hell, the opening drive, the scripted plays were like a lesson in what, okay, if this is a game plan, pretty damn good, right? And then the defensive tackle goes out for the Bengals, and it's like, oh, this could be really good. And then he started to call the game as if Kirk was there. That's what I don't understand. Like, I always thought that his strength was sort of milking what he could, or should be milking what he could from a quarterback. But instead, I mean, how much more did you need to see once Nick Mullens threw that second pick to say, okay, we can't put the game in this. The ball cannot be in his hands in any way, shape, or form. That's one of the worst interceptions in Vikings history.
It is. And then I can't remember the exact timeline, but they marched down again, and Ty Chandler runs it right down to like the 2-yard line. And instead of just handing it to him 4 more times, they call a pass, and Mullens is rolling out to his right, and he's playing hero ball, and he throws a jump ball in traffic.
I know.
And it winds up working out, but just like it is funny that Kevin O'Connell told the sideline guy at halftime, no more hero ball. And you could see him on the sideline with Nick Mullens too, like in his ear after that second interception, like, dude, you need to stop playing hero ball, stop this. And Nick Mullens says, hold my beer, coach.
Yep.
I'm going to show you I can play hero ball, and I can do it successfully.
There was definitely some like valid conversations about KOC being a coach of the year candidate, especially after the Falcons game. There is enough evidence to suggest he will not be a finalist for the award. He is not in the conversation for coach of the year. He has done really well with the 4 quarterbacks he's had to start. That there is a credit there. There's definitely something to that, but to have him in the coach of the year discussion at this point, no.
Yeah, there is some nuance here in that from 30,000 feet, okay, the Vikings have been ravaged by injuries and quarterback carousel and everything, and they're 7-7, and they're in the playoff mix, and they're still like a 50-50 coin flip to make the playoffs. 30,000 feet, that's a pretty good coaching job. It's some of the stuff under the hood these last 2 or 3 weeks that's driving you crazy. So, all right, let's keep it rocking here. Vikings Vent Line, Purple Daily YouTube channel.
Let's go to Campbell next year. Campbell, what's up, buddy?
We can't hear you, Campbell.
Can't hear you. We'll put you in timeout for now. We'll come right back to you, though, after the next call. Let's, in the meantime, go to Kellen here. Kellen, what's up, dude?
How you boys doing?
What's up, man?
Not great.
Man, honestly, I just really wanted to come on here and mainly emphasize that timeout where Flores was calling it on the sideline. He did do that. That was the first thing I noticed. Flores like, call the timeout. And I also wanted to emphasize, you had Powell back there the first time on that QB sneak. It didn't work. Might as well put like Daniil Hunter, just someone who can at least push him through the line. It made no sense. Chandler had a great game. I don't know. It's like you don't want to blame him because he's dealt with all these quarterbacks, but at the same time, he's making kind of errors that have not much to do with the quarterback. We didn't really get to see Addison pop off until Jefferson got hurt. KJ kind of got hurt. And then it was like, okay, I guess it's Addison's turn now. But I don't know if you guys have time, but I would really love to see a segment where you guys outweigh the goods that KOC's done versus the bads, because I feel like he's done a lot of more questionable things than he has like winning mentality things. But that's all. You guys have a great night.
I think Kellen just helped me crystallize my hottest Vikings take for tomorrow.
Oh,
I'm going to answer Kellen's question in my hottest Vikings take tomorrow. Okay. I know that doesn't help the Vikings Vent Line audience right now. But stay tuned because tomorrow we'll hit you.
Well, tune back in. Don't stay tuned because you'll be waiting all night.
No, stay tuned. Definitely stay tuned.
And then come back to us.
Let's keep going here on Vikings Vent Line.
All right, Campbell, let's try again here. You got us okay?
All right, what's up, boys?
There we go. Yeah.
There we go.
Working it.
So, like Phil had brought up, Ty Chandler is averaging 6 yards per carry. He's the first Vikings person to have over 100 rushing yards since Dalvin last season. And we have 2 plays on the third down to get him to go a yard, and he doesn't touch the ball once. I mean, I was sitting here on my couch just kind of freaking out. But the Wild just won in a shootout, and I'm going to the Wolves game tonight. I got my wallet jersey on right now.
Dude.
There you go, dude.
Awesome.
Yeah, let's go.
So, just couple more things. Like, I think JJ came back. He played the whole game. He looked decent. He made some pretty good catches. No touchdowns, but I liked most of what I saw out of him, and the tush push, like you run it with Nick Mullens. You had an athletic quarterback in Dobbs. I don't know if they ever tried it with Dobbs, but anyways, that's all. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, man. Enjoy that
Great
Wolves
stuff,
game
buddy.
tonight. I think Halliburton might not be playing for the Pacers after
He's not
getting hurt
Very
last night.
disappointing.
So it should be an easier game for the Wolves, but it's another one where like a star player on the other team is out. So let's keep going here. Vikings vent line.
All right, let's try father and son here. Elijah and Vinny.
Hey,
Are we sure
going
it's
on?
father and son, or is it man who kidnapped child? We're not sure.
We'll never really know.
It's
But the first thing I thought of.
What's up, big guy?
Is this? You have a record for youngest Vikings fan on vent line?
This is pretty close,
we've
man.
had
This is
we've had
pretty-
a couple of babies.
Turned in August.
Okay. Yeah, you're disappointed. I can tell you're about to cry. So are we.
Yeah, I think he had a little stinky diaper after that back-to-back.
So did
So did
Kevin
KOC.
Oh, stop!
So did Judd. Yeah.
Very beautiful. The only thing, a couple takeaways for me. Thank God Ty Chandler got to start. He was unbelievable. My fantasy team thanks him greatly. Number two, it was like we were playing Madden on those back-to-back quarterback sneaks. Went to recent plays, and he was like, "Oh, it'll work again." I don't know.
Yeah.
And then, that touchdown for T. Higgins with Mekhi Blackman. I don't know. That was an easy fumble, easy turnover there. But we're Vikings fans, we kind of expect things to have to go our way. I'm teaching them young, so.
Yeah, I was going to say that poor kid.
You're desensitizing him at a young age, which is good. He's going to have.
Welcome to a lifetime of misery, young man.
That's Elijah and Vinny making their appearance here on Vikings Vent Line. Poor kid, but that's good. You want to build up that scar tissue so that when you're an adult, it doesn't hurt quite with that fiery, burning feeling.
Or
All right,
pick a new team.
Or you can pick a new team.
You pick a different team.
Who do we got next here?
All right, let's go to Connor next year. Hey, Connor, what's up, pal?
Hey, how we doing, guys? I got 3 things for you real quick, and then I'll let you get back to it. But first, big Gophers fan. The similarities between PJ Fleck and KOC, undeniable. Both great at certain things, good at recruiting, good at offensive game planning, but just cannot game manage to save their life. Second, getting a lot of vibes that we are basically going through the same situation as we did with Brad Childress, where we're going to keep Brad Childress, lose an awesome defensive coordinator to a great team. He's going to have a 20-year career with them, always being above 500 and going to the playoffs. And then last thing, if you allow me, I'll write this down. We're going to lose to the Lions next week, lose to the Packers, and then win against the Lions in the last week for a nothing game. So appreciate it, guys, and I want to hear you talk about it.
All right, Connor and Mount.
The dog must have lost some cash on this game.
I can translate what that dog was trying to say.
Okay.
Let's hear it.
Feed me Nutrisource. Feed me Nutrisource. Feed me more. Feed me more. Because Nutrisource is the official dog and pet food of Purple Daily, Vikings Vent Line, and all across Score North. I know that pretty soon here, probably, I don't know, like an hour, Maya Mackey is going to be banging on my door for her Nutrisource chicken and rice.
Yeah, you know what? Stell's is supposed to eat at 5, but guess what? She has gotten used to pushing me around about 4:30 p.m. So she's going to be banging on my door in about a half hour and saying, "Feed me right now," and I will, because she loves her Nutrisource.
Yep, Vince, the same way. He even with Vikings wins, losses, doesn't matter. His treat appetite remains the exact same. So no matter what happens, he's going to get those Nutrisource treats.
Yeah. NutrisourcePetFoods.com to find a Nutrisource retailer near you. That's NutrisourcePetFoods.com. If you're looking to get a jump start on changing your life, losing some weight, Livia is here to help you. Holidays are here. It's a good time to reset yourself.
Yep, exactly right. The guy on the left, the guy on the right. Well, guess what? They're both sports dad. But you know what? They are sports dad down 40 pounds because Livia Weight Control Centers and their coaching staff, well, unlike KOC, they gave me the right plays. They gave me the right plays to
All
run.
right, Judd, we need to just lose one more pound, Judd. One more pound. What do we do?
One more push.
And ain't no tush push. Ain't no tush push. Join today and get your first 8 weeks for free. Go to or call 855-GO-LIVEA, Livia.com, Livia.com, 855-GO-LIVEA. Voted Minnesota's best weight loss program 3 years in a row. Continued success, continued consistency. They are doing what, let's say, some play callers can't. They're calling the right plays for your weight loss.
It'd be like, okay, Judd, we're 1 pound away from your goal here. What should our plan be?
Here's a cake.
Kevin O'Connell, yeah, here's a Krispy Kreme.
here's a 2 cakes from
Oh my God! All right, let's go back to the therapy session here on Vikings Vent Line.
All right, let's go to Matt. He looks more like the Ultimate Warrior with his face paint, though. I like it.
Oh.
Hey, can you hear me?
Nice.
Were you at the game, or are you just like at home in face paint?
Yes, I was at the game. Part of my voice is gone, and I was the only Viking in my row. And boy, was I getting heckled. But first off, longtime listener, very happy to be here. Thank you for taking me. And one thing that really surprised me during pregame, I don't know why, but it felt weird watching JJ throwing the ball. And then I think it was in the second quarter where he did that pass into the end zone that was dropped. And that got me livid. I don't know why we did a play, but beyond that, we should have won this game. It should have been way, way better than what I definitely put blame on KOC. And one other thing I'd like to touch on, Ty Chandler, great job today.
Yeah, Matt from Illinois in Cincinnati with his face paint. Both coaches got a little squirrely with the Devils. The Devils. Both teams got a little squirrely with let's have our tight end throw a pass. We're marching down the field. Here we go. Ty Chandler, chunk. Let's have Justin Jefferson throw a pass. And it didn't work for even Chris Rose, the play-by-play guy, was like, maybe we should stop doing this, huh?
But you know what I liked? The Jefferson pass, I liked the fact that he saw it wasn't going to work and basically spiked it.
Yeah, it was
and
smart.
threw shot like if Nick had done that on the Jefferson pick, it would have been far superior because then you can just kick a field goal.
Yep. All right, let's keep going here. Therapy in session here.
Let's go to Josh next. Josh, what's up, pal?
Hey guys, how's it going?
Good, man. We're here. We exist.
Not
physically.
It was a bunch of BS.
Yeah. So I have watched you guys probably for the last 2 years. I was a very passive Viking fan, and I found you guys, and you guys are the reason that I'm experiencing this pain. So I just needed to join today for the first time and say thank you for getting me invested in the offseason and all that stuff. And now I'm here. But I have two things that I really want you guys to dive into this week for me. So that's my ask is, on that first interception to Jefferson, or when Mullens threw it with Jefferson crossing, did Jefferson go deep in the end zone when he could have undercut that? Felt like he stepped back on that throw, and Mullens was expecting him to come forward. And I'm really curious on Boone's perspective, et cetera, on should he have actually come in, or was that just straight up a bad ball? Didn't really see it super clearly. So curious on that one in particular.
Yeah.
And then
I have 11 plays definitively marked for Boone right now. We'll have to see which one.
You might be right, though. So here's the thing we don't know. Did Jefferson run the wrong route? And it would be almost identical to the week 2 game in Philadelphia last year. Cousins got picked and it wasn't his. And it turned out it looked like a terrible throw. So that's a good question. We don't know yet.
Yeah, it looked like he let up, went deep when it looked like he maybe should have undercut that a little bit. It was a bad ball, I think, either way. I think it looked maybe worse than it was on paper. My other thing that I just want to say, like, Hawkinson actually impressed me today. He has been very underwhelming. I felt like he made some catches that were really exciting. Addison, really exciting. Seeing Jefferson out there with them, that was really exciting to see. So I'm hopeful. Again, maybe I'm maybe not a deep Viking fan long enough to really be holding on to this hope, but there were some positive things that I saw there. Really hoping we get somebody to get them the ball. But I was actually impressed with Hawkinson, maybe for the first time. Kind of felt like all year getting some balls they probably shouldn't have had any right catching. So that was what I wanted to say. Thank you guys. Appreciate it.
Thanks for coming on here. I will say too, it wouldn't be necessarily the worst thing in the world at this point if they were to lose 3 and then be closer to the top 10. We can have that discussion.
Yeah, it's how it went though. You know, it's how it went.
Agreed.
Like if you go in there and you get your drawers blown off, that might be frustrating. But I mean, you're up by 2 touchdowns and you basically pissed it away. That's what gets me.
God, it's crazy. They were up by 2 touchdowns against a backup quarterback that had 3 points on the board in the fourth quarter, and
we have not talked, and we can on our hottest statements, but we have not talked about sort of the meltdown of the defense as well in the second half, which is another conversation. Which I'm not going to give them a pass on this one.
No, this has been. There's been a lot of KOC stuff because the tush push. You know, Nick Mullens just short circuited a few times, but this was. The fourth quarter was maybe the worst quarter of defense that they've played all year. And up until the fourth quarter, you're sitting there counting like, how many? It's been like a month since they've allowed a touchdown. How many? The longest minute streak in the entire NFL of not allowing a touchdown.
Declan's tweeting about how great they're playing defensively.
Jinxing.
Yeah. This take looks bad now.
Yep.
This take didn't age well.
The algorithm's going to cycle that thing back.
But then there's crickets. There's crickets when Greg Joseph miraculously hits 50 field goals in a row inside 40. I hear nothing. I don't hear anything.
Although we do want him to hit from
inside 40 is a chip shot in the NFL, but he makes chip shots, Greg Joseph. Who's next here?
Let's go to Blake. Blake, what's up, dude?
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Hey, man.
Hey, so what I'm really sick of is these pointless motions, right? You watch Jordan Addison in man coverage against, I think it was a safety, go back and forth between the hashes, and then there was a sack. It's like, KOC, what are you doing? Nobody cares about your motion, crazy crap. And then when you go for a tush push, you should have done an end around to Brandon Powell on that fourth down in OT. That would have confused the defense.
Yeah.
Right? That would have been the play that would have worked.
Yep.
You know, I like Blake's take on that. Thank you, Blake.
That's a good point.
I literally thought the same thing Blake did in the second half. I was thinking to myself, these motions feel kind of empty. It doesn't feel like the motions are stacking and building toward some sort of deception. And yet when you watch the 49ers will run similar action and motion on 10 different plays that have, 8 different ways of, oh man, last time they ran this action, it was an end around. And now they're doing the end around action again. Oh my God, it's a screen pass. It does feel like the Vikings, they're not stacking play calls and they're not stacking motions in a way to like deceive the opponent in 5 plays from now. And that's just, I quit football in 8th grade, so I don't really know, but
I hear what you're saying. I don't know on that one. Here's what I don't get, tush push wise. Why? And I think we talked about this I think it was early this season, and Boone agreed. Why doesn't anybody do the tush push formation and abandon the tush push?
Well, you know who does? The Eagles. They've done it 2 or 3 times this year. Well, they'll fake the tush push because they're all set up.
But if you're the Vikings, why not show tush push? Because everyone's ready. Everyone's stacking.
Yeah.
And then you do something else.
Secret Squirrel in the YouTube comment section says, these clowns try to make light of this loss, but the truth is the season is over. Would you like us to just be super serious and mad for an hour? Or are we allowed to laugh a little bit about what happened? How
much
today?
more upset do I have to be?
I
was texting you guys. I was pissed.
Oh, yeah, you were pissed. One of my favorite Judd things to do during Twins games, Vikings games, Wolves games is, what is blank doing? It's one of my. It's on the greatest hits of the text thread with Mackie, Judd, and Declan. What is blank doing?
Yeah. What's KOC doing? And
what is KOC doing? Yeah, I was curious.
No, and I agree with you. Yeah.
What's Mullens doing? Calm down with the hero ball. Let's go to the next Vikings fan here. Therapy in session.
Let's go to Tom. Hi, Tom.
Yo, what's up, guys?
Hey, man.
Can you hear me?
We got you, yeah.
Hey, what's up? Hey, shout out to real quick. Nutrisource.
Oh,
is that a bulldog? God,
yeah,
I love a bulldog.
Diaper on.
Oh, cutie.
Just passed out right now. Love it.
Oh yeah, she's a snoozer like that fourth quarter. Hey, real quick though. Hey, if I could have any 3 guys at the poker table, it would be you guys.
Aw.
Hey, love the show, man.
So you can take our money, pretty
About to
much.
say,
Yeah,
so
I
you
was
can take
going to say, I would have no idea what's going on.
That's not really a compliment to us.
Hey, I like you guys though, man. I love you guys.
Thank
hey,
you.
Dex, you gotta make sure to send me the address for the Surly plaques.
Oh, dude.
Which
you have not sent me the address yet, my man.
Send me a follow up to the invite I sent you to get on this, and then I have it. Otherwise, I have like just thousands of emails that pile in here to this.
All right,
account. So send me a reply. I got you.
That last caller, real quick. This is what you have to look forward to right here. More raising the Vikings fans, and just more disappointment. Hey, you know what's wrong with our tush push? It's hold together. It has like 2 crushed vertebrae, a slipped disc.
It does.
Like, how do you have a tush push with a center that has back problems and a quarterback that has back problems?
It's true. Yeah, and
That's
then
great.
and behind them we're going to put our smallest player.
Dude. And Dex, like you said, Kevin O'Connell outsmarted himself. I just think he outdumbed himself.
Dude, wow.
It's just so bad. I had so many notes that were so positive, like Harrison Phillips. He was dropping back into coverage on that tight end pass that the Bengals did in the first quarter. He's dropping back into coverage. It seemed like he was on like every play. Hunter crushing Jake Browning in the first quarter was hilarious.
Yeah, so Hunter wound up because he actually got the sack on the tight end
Great play.
The tight end pass. I think he wound up with 3 sacks today, actually. Two.
I wanted to wish Ivan Pace a birthday. Happy birthday, Ivan Pace Jr.
I'd love to see him stop Mixon, though, at the goal line there. He almost had him on that 4th down. He almost had Mixon.
Oh, he got
so close.
And that I understand he's a UDFA and he's a little undersized and he does a great job. Stuff like that's just going to happen with the smaller guy. He tried so hard. He got in there. He stuck his nose in there. He just got plowed over. That's just momentum plus weight equals I'm getting the first down on that.
It's like a science class now.
Yeah, you got it. Yeah, I wanted to say Addison 2 touchdowns. He's a dog. Congrats to Greg Joseph with the pinners there inside the 40. It's so great to have Justin Jefferson back. It was nice seeing him out on the field. He's that catch in this. I think it was the second quarter where he got both the feet in and he still caught the ball while he's getting plastered. There was a lot that I just wanted to talk about. There's a lot that I wanted to praise this team for, and unfortunately they came up short. It was an AFC loss. It's not the end of the world. Let's go Broncos. Hopefully they win tonight. But I love you guys. Thank you for everything you do.
Thank you, Tom.
Hey.
Thank you.
Tell me one more time or I'll watch it back because I might not remember tomorrow how to get you the address for these.
Just email me back the link that I sent you to get in. Just send me a reply back through that email.
All right. Hey, yes. Shame on this coaching staff for letting Alexander Madison be the running back this long after Ty Chandler had such a game. Talk about burst. He's just like, if he doesn't practice well, who cares? Get him in there. Shame on this coaching staff. Shame on KOC for the tush push that's held together with nuts and bolts. Skol Vikes on to next week. Can't do anything about the loss, but I love you guys. Keep doing what you're doing.
Tom, thank you, man. Appreciate the kind words. Great stuff. Let's keep it moving here with the next therapy session.
So I don't have a full name here, but Southeast Wisconsin. There's a bunch of letters here. I'm abbreviating SEWI. Is it Bill?
Southeast Wisconsin, Bill. How you guys doing?
Bill.
Okay.
Welcome to the show, Bill.
Great. Just watching Wild Live. I'm the only guy in the world that likes Bally. The fact they have the Wild because they play them in Wisconsin.
Coming up next, the Vikings were great at times today, and we talk about only those instances. Vikings Live.
I know everybody's been focusing on the offense and what a struggle KOC had today, but I have a question to you guys about the defense of Brian Flores. He seems this year to have made better adaptations at halftime than he even has to start the game. If there's been problems at the start, today it was the exact opposite. And to me, it didn't seem like the Bengals game plan changed. They're throwing a lot of screens, things out of the backfield, and the Vikings were just missing everything. What do you guys see as the problem? And is this something that you think is going to be a problem going forward for the Vikings and Flores?
I think it might be. I think it could be. But here's the thing, and I don't know this. Of the remaining opponents, how many have screen games that are potentially as good as the Bengals? And the one thing, and I don't know if this can be statistically quantified because I don't know if it's tracked by quarter or by series. It felt like in the second half, Browning started to get rid of the ball quicker. It felt like he was getting rid of the ball.
Browning can play, man. He can
screen. Yeah, that's another.
He can play.
No, he definitely can.
And the Vikings, of course, they had him on board 3 years ago, but Sean Mannion was such an important piece to that puzzle that couldn't dare keep a young, promising.
Don't get me started right now. Don't get me started. You're doing this on purpose. You're trolling me on so many levels right now with that comment.
Wouldn't want to keep a talented young court. Got to keep the assistant coach.
Kirk's friend. Kirk's BFF.
Yep.
And a guy that Zim can't develop in Browning.
Yeah. Who's next? Let's
go to John next year on Ventline. John, what's up?
Hey, can you guys hear me?
We got you, John. Yeah.
Okay, so I know you already did some Nutrisource reads, but I want to introduce you to my buddy, Teddy.
Teddy.
Oh, Teddy.
Did this Teddy announce his retirement today too?
He's not. He's very much upset with the result of today. So he's going to sit out. He's going to sit out the rest of what I have to say. But here's my question, and I know you have the hottest takes tomorrow, so I just want to give you something to maybe go off of. A lot of people are going like, "Oh, KSC kind of like ruined the game or whatever," and I agree. So how about? And I've been talking to my friends, they're like, "Oh, Flores, the dynamics, he might relate to Tomlin a little bit when we had a great defensive coordinator and he left us." What do you think? What are the possibilities possibly if KOC left and Tomlin stayed and he became the head coordinator, and then we got a hot shot like Ben Johnson out of Detroit to become the new offensive coordinator? I feel like the defense has really, even though today got a little bit off the rails, I just really feel like Flores has got just an opinion and just a really strong stance on a control of the team. Whereas like KOC, there's been enough things where it's just kind of like, what are you doing? You know, with this tush push and some other things, I just really feel like instead of letting Flores leave, we should keep Flores and then figure the rest out. That's my take for you.
Yeah, John, thanks for coming in here, and Teddy for making an appearance. I see a bunch of people in the comment section wondering if that was Declan's doppelganger or twin that we just had on.
You know, that was funny. He joined, and I was like, oh boy, this is gonna just light up the comment section that I'm related to this guy, isn't it? I saw that from the get-go.
You guys do have a similar presence and avatar, I feel like. For sure. Now, the first part of John's question was, is there any way that like Flores elevate to head coach, which he'll get a job at some point, and then I think O'Connell be the offensive coordinator? Egos would always prevent that from happening.
That's a non-starter.
And finances too, right? It's like,
Yeah,
okay,
well, and they're not
O'Connell
gonna-
makes head coaching money.
And can you imagine going into the locker room and explaining that? Yeah, we're going to flip their job. I mean, it's a non-starter. So in fairness to O'Connell, here's what I want to see. Okay. I still think, call me Pollyanna, naive, I still think he can improve play calling, but I want to see him with a quarterback like Kirk was playing well, right? And I wish in a very small sample size that Kevin would adjust his expectations and play calling to suit what he's currently using, which is backup QBs who are nothing more. But I still want to see him with a quarterback full time, and it might be Kirk, and it might be a guy that they draft to start. I don't know, but I think it's fine to be upset with how he has called plays of late for Dobbs and Mullens. But I'm not going to pull the plug based on that, because if those guys are their guys in 2024, we're going to have a lot bigger problems, because they're not going to be.
You know, like I'm trying to parse apart some of the things that happened today, like the second Mullens interception where he freaked out. He's bad under pressure. We've seen that throughout his entire career. We went over some of those trends earlier this week on the show. And so in that moment where, okay, the play is not salvageable anymore, I'm going to still try and salvage it by the way, what happens if that ball doesn't land in the defender's lap for an interception? It's assuredly intentional grounding. So like, no matter what, it's a terrible outcome that pushes you further back out of field goal range.
Just take it.
Is he like, can any amount of coaching prevent him from making that boneheaded play? That's the ground that I need to know more about. Because the Vikings have had some really dumb plays by backup quarterbacks since Kirk Cousins got hurt.
The play call could have prevented it, but the actual coaching, no. And I will remind you, as upset as we might be with Kevin right now, with Kirk Cousins, he did a very good job. Like Kirk Cousins' success, because now what we're going to get, and I think a person said this already today, was, well, this shows that O'Connell was being lifted up by Kirk, right? No, I think they work very well together. And I think Kevin O'Connell, no question about it, has gotten the best years of Kirk's career. And I don't think that's an accident. I think that's the fact that they work well together. And Kirk, for his mental faults at times, is a very talented dude. So that's what I want to see. I'm not pulling the plug on O'Connell because I think that when they start training camp next year and Nick Mullens is the guy, they're screwed because Nick Mullens is not going to be the guy. That being said, I think it's fair to be upset right now without calling for Kevin's job. And look, as you guys recall, this guy right here was the lead beat writer at the Star Tribune in Childress's first and second years. There's no comp. There's no comp there.
Well, Childress had no sort of cultural, motivational.
And he gave up the play calling. Like, he was so bad, he gave up the play calling. Brad, there is no quarterback that played for Brad here who Brad gets credit for improving. Brett Favre was on a revenge tour.
Yeah.
But there was no one who it's like, well, he got Tavares Jackson and look what he did, right? Yep. Brad was always, and Brad called plays for 1 year and abandoned it because he was bad at it.
Yeah. Let's keep going here, guys. Vikings Ventline on the Purple Daily YouTube channel.
Let's go to Seth next year. Seth, what's up, dude?
Yeah, I just think that for the QB sneak, they need to put Jaron Hall in. He's just a stronger quarterback, and then put TJ behind him. There's no point you should have Nick Mullens doing a QB sneak with back problems. I don't really disagree with the QB sneak because, you get that, you win. You basically win it. And I just think you need to put Jaron Hall behind there because he's just a stronger guy. He's just going to get it.
Yeah, I mean, even Seth, thanks for joining. I mean, I don't know that either one of those guys I would love. If you would have said back-to-back tush pushes, Jaron Hall and Nick Mullens, I'd say just don't. maybe try one with one of them. Josh Dobbs has probably more size and just physical ability to do it, but
he can't be put in.
Ty Chandler or CJ Ham even.
Just don't make it more. Just don't make it harder than it has to be.
Yep.
I'm with you.
Let's keep going here. Declan, who's next?
Let's go to Chris. Chris, what's up, buddy? You are on Ventline.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Hey man.
I never thought I would say entitled regarding Vikings fans, but man, did Keenum really screw us up, didn't he? I mean, are we really talking about firing a coach 6 games into a backup quarterback run season? I mean, holy
a lot
cow,
of people
guys.
are. A lot of people are. Yeah.
As soon as I don't know about you guys, but as soon as I saw that Achilles snap, that replay, the season is what it is, man. You can't. This is what backup quarterback play unfortunately looks like. Like, your season is going to most likely be derailed. And the fact that we're even talking about still being in the playoff hunt, I mean, come on, guys. And to go to Flores, it's hard to ding Flores for the job he's done, which is, remembering that we're still dealing with the ashes of the Zimmer regime. Like, we're only in a season and a half past the Spielman-Zimmer. But, Chicago now, Denver, Oakland, he was really good. But now here, this late game meltdown stuff is for real. I don't know if I'd be so quick to switch to him, and I think we're just overreacting a little too.
I agree with that.
Yeah, they've had. Yeah, there's been some. Yeah, thanks for coming on here, Chris. I think it's fair to say that overall Flores' defenses have been awesome, but there's been some major leakage at the end of these games.
Yep. And today it's cornerbacks that you still don't know about. Yep. But Mekhi Blackman, to go back to what we talked about, stopping and I mean, Mekhi Blackman played as big a role in that play while a few yards away as the three of us did.
Yeah. Hey, a couple more left here before we wrap on Vikings Vent Line. A shout out to Zero Res. So you got basically a week left before you might have family, friends coming over for the holidays. Maybe your carpet has a weird, funky smell. Your house needs to be deep cleaned. How long has it been since you've deep cleaned it? Zero Res is here to get that done for you. And if you ask for the Score North special when you contact Zero Res, you get 3 rooms Zero Resified starting at just $129. 952-0-RES or ZeroResMinnesota.com. Spell it forwards or backwards. It spells the same. Zero Res. Say you want the Score North special. ZeroResMinnesota.com. Also, popped corn, which you can find inside US Bank Stadium. In fact, look at Declan, our Vanna White over here. Oh, open that glorious Vikings tin up.
I wish there. What was it? AMSR, right? Is that what this is? This is some popcorn. Let me take a bite here.
What flavor are you rocking right there?
Oh, the Vinster's gonna hear this. It's all over for you.
This one's Parmesan garlic.
Oh,
Parmesan garlic and
that
mac
sounds
and cheese
good.
in here.
Mac
Really
and
good
cheese,
stuff.
Parmesan garlic. There's barbecue chipotle, s'more, caramel. There's all sorts of. I mean, there's 80 flavors of small batch popcorn with popped corn. That's POPPED corn.com. In fact, I just went on popcorn.com last night, ordered some tins for friends, family for the holidays.
Can't wait for Christmas.
They've got Vikings tins, Gophers, Twins, Wild Wolves, other professional teams. Go online at poppedcorn.com. That's poppedcorn.com. Okay. Delish. Who's next?
All right, let's go to Dale. Dale, what's up, dude?
How's it going, guys?
Hey, Dale.
Couple things. I was pretty upset with KOC after today, but after seeing, thinking about it, the job he's done with backup quarterbacks today, the last couple weeks, I don't know what more you expect from the guy, Same with Brian Flores. The defense has been great the last couple weeks. Yeah, they struggled the fourth quarter today, but I mean, it happens, one touchdown in the last how many quarters before the fourth quarter today. He's been there. KOC with going with the multiple tush pushes, though, was almost unreal after Ty Chandler was going nuts today. You'd think he would hand the ball to Chandler or CJ Ham, who I believe has 1 carry on the year this year.
Mm-hmm.
But, you can't blame it all on him. And I don't know. So far, the offense has been pretty good this year, considering losing Kirk, losing Jaron Hall after he looked good. Dobbs looks good for a couple weeks, but then that magical ride ends quick. So you got to go to Mullens. You can't expect much from you're on your fourth quarterback, but hard loss today. Hopefully we can make a run here. You never know. It's been a long time of me waiting for them to make a run since 98 and Moss. So we got a couple young ones here waiting to see him make a run too. One of these days, we're open.
Love it, man. Dale,
All right,
thanks for jumping on. We feel Dale's pain. And then is it Cameron next here? Okay.
Hey, Cameron, what's up, dude?
Hey guys, appreciate you having me on. I've never called in before.
Welcome in.
Got my dog Oliver here.
Oliver.
Doodle.
Fan of Josh Oliver's catch today, but
that was a nice catch. Nice catch and run.
Yeah, so we cheer for him sometimes together. But just wanted to talk about KOC and big question on how do they keep Flores? Because even though they gave up a ton of points in the fourth quarter, kind of had a meltdown there. I think the DBs, like Caleb Evans, finally defended a pass against T. Higgins where they just kind of tossed it up, and he had a really good defended pass at one point against him. But for the most part, I thought they kind of let him just drop to him. It's he pushed off a little, I think, earlier against Blackman or something. But other than that, though, I just, like everybody else, was really upset with the third and fourth down tush push with a non-mobile quarterback. Brandon Powell, it looked like, was the guy lined up to push Mullens, and I thought that was kind of weird. And if CJ Ham is a team captain going out for coin tosses and he's a fullback, why isn't if you're going to do an inches, try to get a run for an inch, why not use your team captain who's a fullback? So those were.
And thank you, Cameron. In terms of, I would say you could hand the ball to CJ, and then in terms of ranking guys I'd rather have shoving my quarterback, I would put CJ Ham ahead of Brandon Powell. Yes.
The weird thing too about to go back to the T. Higgins jump ball that he caught is this: he was so close to the sideline. If Blackman had followed through, and Evans is there, which he was, you would think that they were taught push him out of bounds before he can land, because that's not a catch then.
Yeah, I mean,
like if he gets hit simultaneously, because Blackman gave up, but he had speed coming. Like if he catches the ball, high points the ball,
go do
those guys
something.
But if he's pushed out now, the rule is he's out of bounds.
Yep. Go do something would be my advice to young Mekhi Blackman on the play. Keep looking for work until the whistle blows.
Yeah,
so just a wildly frustrating loss for Vikings fans today, 27-24 21 points by the Bengals in fourth quarter, and then 3 more in overtime. So just a brutal way to lose. They're still 7-7. There's still a coin flip chance they get to the playoffs. So these next 3 games are all going to be very meaningful. And my guess is Nick Mullens probably starts again, and Jaren Hall is probably the backup again. But Jaren Hall, I think Nick Mullens is about 2 more really dumb interceptions away from Jaren Hall time here. So we will see. All right, Declan and I have a company gathering to get to here. So we're going to say goodbye on Vikings Vent Line Purple Daily YouTube channel. We appreciate you guys taking a chunk of your Saturday. And then for tomorrow, we'll hit you with our hottest Vikings takes off of this devastating loss. Judd will have an extra day to produce a pie chart of blame as well for Monday.
Nice.
Chef
2 days
Judd.
with the pie. I like it.
And then Booney will break down some of this film, the good and the bad, early this week too. So appreciate you guys. Click that like button and the subscribe button on the Purple Daily YouTube channel, and we'll see you tomorrow for hottest Vikings takes.